Um, I understand it's his personality, um, but he was thinking that he's like, you know, the shit, basically.
Yeah, don't forget that we're live, so try to keep our P language to PG language.
Yeah, sorry. Well, basically, it was. Um, yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
So he was like totally, trying to. He was thinking that he knows the best, he knows everything, and he. I don't think he took us seriously. Maybe I'm not really sure.
So walk me through what happened.
Nah, because we came over and he's like, we tried to kind of tell him how we work and stuff like that, and he was dismissive from the beginning. He goes, "Oh, I know how it is. I work in commercial real estate, and I know how it goes."
Okay.
So we saw the house and we wanted to show him how the sales agreement looks and everything. He's like, "No, it's okay. I see like 10 of those per day. I don't need to see it at all." Um, we tried to ask about the payoff, and he basically said, kind of, none of your business type of, pretty much, but in different words. Um, he was incredibly dismissive, and I don't think he took us serious. And things that he asked for, uh, which is um, non-refundable escrow, um, and 5% of escrow of his asking price, which is, I don't know, it doesn't work it doesn't work in this case, because that's like a standard transaction, but we're doing a cash deal or negotiating for a cash deal. So,
You're an investor, right?
yeah.
Okay, so as an investor, you set your rules. Just like he's an investor, he set his rules. It's your job to agree or deny, those rules. Not every appointment we go on, we're going to basically buy. So if
Yeah.
you remember when we went on the appointment with the first guy, I explained to you that, signing the contract right there and then wasn't the greatest, idea to do it. So I sent the contract to you. I filled it out with you. And then I had you send it to him. And then what did he do? He reviewed it, he signed it, and sent it back.
Yeah.
So in this case, if you really want to put an offer in and you really want, an opportunity to buy the place, okay, all you need to do is, figure out, okay, what do I want to buy the place at? What would make it cash flow for me? And if $485,000 is that number, you write up the contract for 485, you send it over. Whether he signs it or not, you saw the property. Whether he agrees to it or not, you basically learned something today. And if he
Hmm.
signs it, we're in the same situation as we are in the first time, where we have an equitable interest in the property. And now we can go forth and assign our contract, or we can go forth and close on it and buy it ourselves.
Yeah. He said, actually 675.
Okay. But is that what you
None.
want to pay for it?
No.
Okay. What do you want to pay for it?
Um, Around 500K.
Okay. So
I think that's a fair price for it.
so make him an offer at 500K. Make him an offer at where you feel is a reasonable price. All he can say is no. My feelings are not going to get hurt. Your feelings are not going to get hurt. Guess what? If he doesn't get his price right now, 30 days later, oh, hi, Mr. Seller. My offer still stands. Are you interested in selling your house for 500K? No. Okay. 30 days later, oh, hi, Mr. Seller. It's me again. Did you sell your house? Congratulations. Oh, you didn't? My offer still stands. The fortune's in the follow up, Vlad.
Yeah.
So, don't get sad about this one. Dust it off your shoulders, pull up your pants, and let's go on another appointment.
So what should I What should I tell him now? I should call him back and tell him what?
Yes, I have an offer I would like to send over to you. Where would you like me to send it?
No, I mean, me and AJ, we filled out the paperwork.
Okay.
Um, but I'm thinking that his terms are crazy.
Vlad,
So
you can put anything you want on the contract. I can put that we need to close in Hawaii if I wanted to on the contract. But after you and I sign the contract, it goes through a process called attorney review. And during attorney review, they go through every line of the contract, line by line, and then they make their corrections. So he can put whatever he wants in the contract. Once we go into attorney review, we could tell our attorney, we don't agree with this, we don't agree with this, we don't agree with this. And if we can't come to a consensus during the time that we're in attorney review, we basically says we're not moving forward and we both walk away. You lose nothing, he loses nothing. Because what did you put down?
nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, but so you don't want me to call him back and say, hey, listen, your terms don't work for us?
No, I want you to get it on the contract.
Well, we signed it on our end and
Okay,
we left it with him.
awesome. So if he calls you and says his sister, his daughter, whoever it is,
Yeah, his daughter.
if he says his daughter signed the contract and get it and is going to get it back to you, great. In the meantime, Vlad, let's go schedule another appointment.
Oh, okay.
That's all. Because you basically went on the appointment, you accomplished what you went there for. You saw the house, you made an offer. If you make 10 offers a week and you get 10 offers accepted, I need to know what you're doing. I need to find out what you're eating and what you're saying, because those numbers don't always work. It's usually 2 out of 3 get accepted. Okay? So I'm not
Yeah,
saying we were lucky on our first hit. We're not. It's just that, that guy is a motivated seller. We
yeah,
have to deal with people who want to sell and people who have to sell. Okay?
yeah,
People who are just casually thinking about selling, they're not motivated. There's no motivation there.
yeah. He actually told me he wanted to sell because he wanted to move. He
Okay?
didn't want to be a landlord anymore.
Okay?
Because the other tenant is Section 8 tenant. So
Okay?
he doesn't want to deal with it anymore. He wants to move, and he also has 2 deeds. So I kind of looked it up, and he's paying 2 property taxes because he has 2 deeds. So if
Okay?
one deed's like 8,000, he's paying 2, so it has to be 15,000.
Okay?
So
So he
so
couldn't he couldn't get it into one.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
He has to petition
Um,
the town, but it
oh
could be
well,
done.
he didn't. He still has 2, and he's on the phone. He told me different. In person, he basically stated his terms like 675 non-negotiable, 5% escrow of the purchase price every 10 days. Escrow becomes hard,
No,
non-refundable.
not acceptable. Those are your
What do you
terms.
mean?
Those are not my
Yeah.
terms. If you want to move forward, these are my terms. Here's my contract.
So
Sign it. We'll go in attorney review.
so should I
Otherwise,
tell him that? Should I
no,
tell him that now?
no, no. Have him sign the contract and go in attorney review. Let the attorneys deal with it.
Okay. Okay.
We are investors. We go out there, we put offers on houses, and we buy the houses. We get them repaired, we show them, and we resell them. The attorney's job is to deal with the lingo, to deal with the escrow, to deal with all that other stuff. Okay?
Okay.
I'm not going to put on the hat of an attorney. The more offers I make, the more houses I put on the contract. The more houses I put on the contract, the more opportunities I have to close 1 to 3 deals a month. The goal is 10 appointments a week. Okay. We lock up 5 of them and we sell 2 to 3 of them a month. That's it. 40 appointments a month. That's your goal. You're making the calls to get that done. So if you go on 10 appointments a week, eventually you've been on what, 3 appointments with us or just 2? 2?
Two.
Okay. What's going on with that guy that's sick? He's still sick?
Yeah, I called him. He is still sick. I told him I'm gonna call him in the beginning of next week.
Okay.
And we're gonna go there probably Wednesday-ish.
Okay.
You know.
So I'm going to ask you to participate with me in this. Walk me through your process. You wake up in the morning and you get ready, you go get on the phone. Do you have a list already that you have downloaded that you brought, or do you have numbers that you dial in one by one?
No, I'm using your dialer
Okay.
from like 9 a.m. to dial from 9 a.m. to approximately 11,
Okay.
12.
Okay.
It's like approximately 400 numbers that I that I dial, and then
Okay.
after and then after that I follow up with people,
Okay.
and at the same time I reach out as I dial and follow up. I reach out to agents, about 50 per day.
Okay.
And then at the same time, when that's over, my kids come home. I can't really talk. I start texting.
Okay.
And text messages, let's say, send approximately 400 to 500 per day. I get maybe a 10% reply rate.
Mhm.
Out of 10%, some people say I'm interested, some people say no. And as soon as I get an answer, anything but no, I call them back immediately.
Okay.
And
And when you
then yeah.
and when you call them back, what's your opening line with these people?
Oh, I say, hi, my name is Vlad. I sent you a text message early in the day, and you told me that you were interested in selling your house. And I kind of throw in a joke and I go, I'm really horrible at texting. I got fat fingers, so I'm much better on the phone. So if you don't mind, can we have 5 minutes to talk?
Okay.
And in many cases, they say yes, or call me back in like half an hour, and I give them a call back. So it seems to work. And another opening line that I have is, which is kind of uh, I go, if I don't have a chance to call them today, I call them the next day and I go, hey, I sent you a text message some time ago. I apologize, I didn't have a chance to call. So I hope it's okay. So we can speak about your property. No, they go, what is this about? And I'm like, oh yeah, I had interest in purchasing your property. Would you have a couple of minutes to talk about it? And in many cases, they're like, oh yeah, I remember I got a text message, because most of them do have. And they're
Okay.
like, okay, what do you want to talk about? And the conversation kind of goes on after that.
So after you get the conversation going on and they basically say yes, how do you determine if you're going to go on an appointment to go see them?
Well, I ask a couple of questions. If why are they selling? How quickly they're looking to sell? If they have other offers. Um, Also, why aren't they listing with a realtor?
Hmm.
And if they say, for example, oh, I don't want to list, I want like a cash offer, or I want to do something quick, or I really want to move, hate realtors, I don't like people walking through my house. That's showing me that they're interested at least in doing some sort of negotiation.
Okay.
In many cases, even if they say like, hey, listen, I want 350, not a penny less, I call them anyway. Because what happens is, even though I look at the comps and it's maybe 200, I go, when I call them on the phone, they soften up. And one guy even said, hey, listen, I'm really like I was hard ass with you on the phone, and I apologize. I mean, on a text message, and I apologize. Now we spoke. I see that you're serious, and I can be a little flexible on the price. So that kind of gives me an opening.
Okay.
So
So let's wind back and say, okay, when you were going on your first appointment with us, okay, what were your thoughts before the appointment?
When I went with you,
Before you went with me, what were your thoughts before the appointment? What kind of questions did you have?
uh, how it's gonna go, I guess, or are we gonna sign anything on the spot? Um, Basically, are we gonna just like sit down right away and like sign, or do we? What do we do? That was my first thing. But now I went to two of them, and I pretty much know the process and how it flows. So I know I kind of know what question to ask and just to walk through and just to have the conversation flow.
Okay.
So
By the end of your 10th appointment, you should be able to get this done by yourself on the 11th. Okay.
I really hope so. I really hope so, and I think I want to be sooner than 10. Honestly, if I feel comfortable enough by the fifth one, even earlier, I would prefer to go. And honestly, if even if I feel that the person is not really motivated, I would go anyway. I'm not gonna
Yes.
drag you guys. I'm just gonna go for my own experience.
And
Because,
then
like, for example, yeah,
you would write down all the questions they ask you that you cannot answer on the back of the contract
yeah, and present them to you and ask you.
and ask me and AJ, yes, and Chuck.
Okay. Yeah, in many cases, like I see now. Basically, it's like getting your reps in. So as many times as you go, you build experience, and you like the first time you're really nervous, as it is on the phone. Second time a little less, then a little less, and then you just come in with confidence and be like, hey, listen, this is what I can do for you. Same as on the phone. A lot of people, I was calling, and thanks to you and Chuck and AJ, you guys are like, hey, listen, they can ask whatever they want. They're not going to get that price, you know.
Uh-huh.
And today I was speaking with somebody, and they go, it has a pool. The lady goes, it has a pool and this and that. I'm like, I understand. I would love to live in your house. I would love to. But as an investor, it just doesn't make sense. We're here
Yeah.
to make money. I cannot lose money. She's like, but it's a great pool and this beautiful house, and I have a kitchen. I'm like, it looks like my dream house. Like, if I was to look for a house, I would live in your house. But even if I wanted to, I cannot get funding for it. She's like, oh, you don't have the cash? I'm like, well, who has $700,000 in cash?
Where's the
You know,
house?
I have to get back to you on that. The house
That's
is
fine.
in. The house is in. Hold on, I actually have it here. It's in. It's actually. I spoke with her. I was going back and forth. Um.
So
Um.
for situations
It's
like
in.
that, I like to do what's called a takeaway close. So
Yeah.
would have you considered selling your house with a realtor? And if she says yes, okay, you can say, well, you work with a few realtors in our office, and we can gladly come over and give you a free comparative market analysis.
Hmm.
Okay. Have you considered selling your house to an investor? I have to let you know that an investor is going to make you a cash offer. So the offer is going to be much lower than what you would get on the market.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you current or behind on your payments? All right. And if they're current, great. We can help you get more than what you're asking for your property as long as you're willing to work with us. But if you're behind, you may be at the risk of losing everything because you're facing foreclosure. And you would
Yeah.
have to sell your house for more than what you owe in order to cure the foreclosure to make any profit. Did you know that? So if you
Mm.
have 5 minutes, I would like to come over to show you some options that may work for you. Just get in the door.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. It's something that it's smooth. The way you say it, it's really smooth because it just flows.
Uh-huh.
Because you put your reps in. It's after 18 years. I mean, it for you it's like as easy as walking or breathing. You just kind of say it without thinking. It just goes.
Practice
You
makes
know.
improvement.
Yeah, yeah. How did you practice in front of a mirror or?
No, I
Oh,
was fed to the wolves.
gotcha.
As Chuck told you and everybody else, I went to his class, his first class on that, we call it that Sunday, that Saturday. And Sunday, I came in with a deal because Saturday evening, I started calling people. Somebody picked up. It was raining outside. And I went down into Newark with all the paperwork, got everything signed, and got a house
Wow.
right on Saturday because, I was living in have to mode. You know, at that time, I wasn't at the best place in my life. I had 3 houses in foreclosure at that time. Okay. And one of them was a house that my mom put her name on. So I had to figure out how I was going to get out of those 3 situations. So I had to make it work. So pretty much I got it done. And then I just continued knocking on doors and I got my first deal done and, made the money I needed to quit my job. So I quit my job and never turned back. Been doing
Yeah,
this full time since '07.
that's cool. Yeah, I got to practice more and more, and want to go and I'm gonna be stricter with my questions and things like that instead of I don't know. I think it was a waste of time anyway, of yours anyway.
None of these are a waste of time because you're going to go out there, you're going to learn something, and you're going to get a contract or you're going to have a follow up. None of these are a waste of time.
Okay.
Just think about them as, checks you're putting in your piggy bank, if not now, 30, 60, 90 days later, because you could have signed that contract to someone for probably $10,000. You could have signed that contract to someone for $20,000 after attorney review.
Hmm.
Okay. So after you went on your first appointment and we left, what were your thoughts?
I had good thoughts because the seller was cooperative. He was a nice guy. He was determined to sell. He was he was actually, almost excited that we were there. He was relieved.
Okay.
That was my thoughts after the first appointment.
All right. And when we were filling out the contract, what questions did you have?
Oh, it's just the whole process, how to fill it out.
Okay.
The step by step type of thing. Because, like I said, there was a lot of stuff in the middle there that I didn't know what it was. So, but as long as the main parts of it there, like you said, the main parts are filled out, and then the attorneys can figure it out and put in the rest.
Well, the main point of a contract is we had to make an offer and we had to have something called a consideration. So our offer was what he was asking, 155 or 154.
Yeah.
Okay. And the consideration was $100.
Hmm.
And then it needs 2 signatures, the signature of the buyer and the signature of the seller. And then you have a contract. A contract is not a contract until it's signed by both parties.
Right.
Okay. But it has to have consideration and it has to have an offer. And then the offer has to be accepted by the buyer by signing the contract. So now that we're in attorney review, did you talk to AJ about running title? Did you do that already?
I believe he's gonna say he's gonna run title.
Do
He's
you
gonna
know the
start.
process?
Uh, Escrow company does it, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
So our process here, using the C4 program, we basically have in our office a gentleman that basically takes care of all of our title. We basically send an email to him, and you know him as Pete Palumbo. So
Oh
you'll
yeah.
basically send an email to Pete saying, Pete, can you run title on this property? This is the address, this is the city, this is the state, and this is the name of the seller, and this is the name of the buyer. That's all he needs. You email him and you tell him you want him to run title. He will call either AJ or myself and confirm that you are working with us if he doesn't know you personally, and then he will get the title ordered for you.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know
So
Pete does that.
yeah, so in the future when you have a deal and we tell you to go ahead and run title, that's all you have to do. The contract
Okay.
that you sent over that's signed, send it over to Pete. Tell them you need a search only title. That's very important because you don't need a title binder. You need search only because they're going to do a search on the seller, a search on the buyer and the buyer's LLC, any open taxes, any open water liens, and stuff on the property. If they're going to
Hmm.
bind it, it's going to be a whole lot more expensive. You bind it when you're getting ready to close.
Oh, so just search a title.
Search only, yes.
Search only. Okay.
Yep. And then attorneys. As an investor, you should basically go to networking events. We missed you last night at Christopher Goodson's,
I
but
didn't know the guy.
okay,
Everybody talks about him. I didn't know the guy. I would have went.
okay, yeah. So last night they were talking about Airbnb there and how basically you can use that to make money. But every time you go out to a networking event, you want to meet attorneys, you want to meet title companies, you want to meet contractors, because you're going to build up your own arsenal of people. You're going to build up people that you can call. So we have 4 attorneys that we use. Okay. So we cannot stare someone and say, use this attorney. So what we do is we give them a list of 3 to 4 attorneys, but I have an attorney that I use, so I always go to that attorney. AJ has an attorney that he uses, he always goes to that attorney. They all
Hmm.
work well on investments, and that's who we use in our deals. You'll get to know them, you'll get to meet them when you get to your first closing and your first attorney review conclusion.
Okay.
So after pretty much attorney review is done, then we go into inspections. We have to give up what for this deal? This first deal, $600. Is that gonna
N-
is that gonna break your pocket?
Not really. We didn't even pay the guy anything.
We're not gonna pay until attorney review is completed.
Oh, okay.
Upon the completion of attorney review, within 10 days of the completion of attorney review, $600 is due in the attorney's trust account.
Oh, okay.
So right now, the attorneys are basically going to be going back and forth. I'll get a call, AJ would get a call, your guy would get a call. But in the meantime, all we're doing is we're going to continue marketing the property. We're going to continue getting people in there. Preferably now that we have other pictures and you and AJ went to go see it with a potential buyer. Okay. We're going to continue marketing it and basically see if we could find other buyers. And we're marketing it for how long? 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Why 2 weeks? Because we don't want to send people there every day, every week, and bother the guy to keep coming back and forth, back and forth. So what we do is we do basically a high-pitched open house. So we'll market it at a price that we know it will sell, and we'll gain interest. And within 2 weeks, today is the 17th. So I would say the first week of March, I guess. Let me see. Calendar. Saturday. So I would say the 5th. The 5th of March is when we should go back there with everybody that we've marketed to and get them in the house within the 2-hour time frame between 12 and 2.
Okay.
So within that time, you'll probably get 20, 30 calls. And you sat down with AJ and you guys also did what we call cloud in the title, right?
Yeah, we did that.
Okay. How was that experience for you?
It was good. It was very good. Now I know how. I took pictures. I did it twice.
Okay.
One for your copy, one to send out. So it was good experience. I know how. I called the county,
Okay.
found out how much it was, where to mail it, like the whole nine, who to make out the check to. Now I know how to do that.
Okay. So what have you learned during this whole experience thus far since you started working with the C4 program?
Well, in short 2 weeks, I know how to fill out contract for the somewhat anyway. I know where stuff goes in it. Um, I know how to cloud title. I know what to bring with you on appointments, what to look for, and some of the questions I should be asking, and pretty much the whole general flow of the appointment.
Okay.
So yeah.
So if I can help you and add more value to, what you learned, what else can I show you, teach you, or help explain to you?
Um, just the whole idea of like getting more confident to kind of not be afraid to just go out there and you know write contracts, I guess, or
I'm going to use Chuck's analogy. The more you make, the more comfortable you get. The
okay,
more appointments you make, the more appointments you go on, the more offers you make, the more comfortable you get.
yeah,
So make more contracts, make more appointments, make more offers, you'll make more money. The more you
right.
make,
But
the more you make.
the thing is, I'm thinking of back end too much. Like I'm thinking of this house where we went to today, because I'm still thinking that like nothing's gonna come out of it. Am I thinking negatively? Because the guy is asking 100K over what it's worth, maybe a little less. He's asking these three things with escrow being hard, and I know it's not going to go through.
Okay.
So the question is, why should we continue knowing it's pretty much a dead deal?
But that's exactly what I'm showing you. It's not a dead deal, and we're not continuing. We sat there with him and AJ. You made an offer. You signed your contract. Now, okay, in football where the quarterback passes it off to the running back, okay, and in checkers where you have check and you have checkmate, okay. So now we just put the queen in check because we signed our part of the contract. All right. They need to sign their part, and then it's checkmate. We're under contract and we can move forward. Whether or not in the next 30, 60, or 90 days they sign it or not, it's irrelevant because the property is going to sit there. It's not going to sell. And 30 days from the day you went to go see him, which is today, we'll call him back and ask him, did you sell? Our offer still stands. Would you like to move forward? And that's it. Because he may have a change of heart since he can't get his price of 675.
Yeah,
But then the next time you're working on other deals. We're not just dependent on his deal or his contract. So go on more appointments, make more offers, you'll get more deals and you'll make more money.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. It's
Okay.
like the
So
same thing with that builder guy. Like he called me and he's like, "When would you like to come and see it?" You know, he doing that subdivision. He's subdividing land and stuff.
set your
He's like,
precedence before you go. My intention to come and see it is not to buy it personally. My intention in coming and seeing it is to evaluate it for my buyers list and the investors I am in contact with.
I told him that. I'm like, I'm
Yes.
not a builder, but I might have people that will be interested. And he
Yes.
still said that you sounded more professional than all the other people that I talked to, and he wants he wants me to, I guess, stop by.
So
So yeah,
stop by, go see it, and when you go see it, bring a contract. What is he asking?
I don't know, like $900,000.
All right. So put it on the contract for $900,000. Give yourself 180 days because it's a commercial deal. Give yourself more time to get it sold. And on top of that, all you have to do is assign it for $20,000 to $30,000. They pay you an assignment fee. You're out of the contract, and he gets his property sold, and you get your money in your pocket.
Okay.
So the name of the game is wholesaling in the beginning so you can get money. And then when you get money, you can use the cash that you get to buy it.
Right.
So I'm very
Yeah,
proud
because
of
I'm
what you're
thinking.
doing. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Go ahead. I didn't hear what you were saying.
No, I'm thinking of the back end. I'm like, I'd go there and make the guy a promise. I mean, I didn't make him a promise. I said, I'm not a builder, but I might know somebody that is.
Yeah.
And he kind of understands, so.
So Vlad, just like you make calls to find sellers, you're going to make calls to find buyers. And where are you going to go find a buyer for a commercial deal like that? You're going to call commercial real estate offices. And you're going to tell them exactly what you tell the other people in the opposite. Hi, I have a property that I have under contract that I'm looking to sell. And here is the address. Here is the makeup. Do you have any developers who would be interested? Or we do what we did the other day. We drove around that area and we saw a development that's being developed, right? So we could drive around Jersey City, see everywhere that's being developed around Jersey City, call the developers and tell them that you have this development property and this development opportunity under contract. They ask you how much you want for it. You don't tell them 900, but I'm selling it for 920. You tell them 930 and let them talk you down to 920. And then you get your $20,000 assignment fee.
Okay.
So the process is the same, whatever town you're in, wherever you go. It's just from making the initial phone call with the dialer to getting them on the phone, between your texting and your calling. And then once you get them on the phone, create rapport like you've always done, and you do a great job at it. Then set the appointment, and then let's go out and see them, and then let's make them an offer. Whether we make the offer there on the spot, there's going to be plenty of times where you're going to have your packet with you, and you have all 13 documents in the packet with you, and you're going to get them signed. But there are other times where you're just going to leave a contract or not leave a contract at all, and then they'll send it to you in the mail. So every situation you're going to evaluate, you're going to determine what you're going to do with that situation at that time. And however it works out, it works out.
Okay. Even if they're asking is higher than what I think it is?
If they're asking higher than what you think it is, you would tell them, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this house is overpriced. So here is my offer.
Oh.
And you cross out whatever that offer is there, and you put whatever your offer is. And that's what attorney review is for.
But they might say, hey, listen, but we kind of spoke on the phone and you kind of agree. I told you that this is the price I'm looking for.
That was before I saw the house. Have you brought a house without seeing it?
No.
Have you brought a car without driving it?
Yes.
You have?
Well, I looked at it. I didn't drive it. I got in it. I looked at it, and I guess I did. Yeah, I got in, and I'm like, yeah, it's a nice car, and I purchased it.
I wouldn't buy a car without test driving it.
Yeah.
Because if it starts and then it doesn't start, then what? I just bought a lemon.
Yeah. Well, I lease, so
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the same concept. You're gonna make offers, and you're gonna make a lot of offers, and some will get accepted, some won't. Let's continue moving on, and let's continue building. So what are your goals for this month? How many offers are you going to make? How many contracts are you looking to put on the contract? And how many deals are you looking to close this month?
I'm going to shoot for at least 3 appointments a week.
Okay.
At least. Leave a contract with all of them. At least say, hey, listen, this is what it is. If you like it, keep it. If you don't, throw it in the garbage.
Or have them sign it right then and there and walk away with it and leave them a copy.
Yeah, that too. That too. If they're okay with signing it right there, then if they agree on a price, that is.
Yeah.
Because in many cases they were like, "Oh yeah, but you said this price, and now you're putting this price," and like this guy today, he's gonna start, bitching and complaining about all this escrow and this and
Then
that.
he
And
is not the person we need to work with next.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's my attitude. I only work with people who are willing and want to work with me. I'm not going to force myself upon you. I'm not going to force you to work with me. There's so many properties out there. I can give you a list of about 20,000 pre-foreclosures in Jersey this week.
Hmm. Okay.
This week. So imagine last week, the week before, there's just so much opportunity.
Yeah.
There is about 90,000 free and clear houses between New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut. There's so much opportunity. You drive around in your neighborhood, 1 in 10 houses are vacant.
1 in 10.
1 in 10 houses are vacant.
Hmm.
So if you drive by and see a vacant property and you can find that person who owns the vacant property, or if they're dead, you find their heirs, you can tell their heirs, well, I'll give you $100,000 for this vacant property and I can close in 14 days. And we can. We can literally close in 14 days because we can get a rehab loan. We can get a hard money loan. They have to come out and do an appraisal and we have to fix it up. But once we're under contract, we could get all that stuff done.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you have so many arsenals, you have so many things at your discretion. Go out there, make a mess, go out there, put me in a situation that I can't get you out of. That's my challenge to you today.
Put you in a situation that you can't get me out of.
Yeah. Go buy so many houses that I can't have enough money to pay for it.
Oh, okay.
That's my challenge to you today.
Okay.
And let's make as much money as we can in 2022. So, 2023 would be a great year.
Okay.
And as far as tax write-offs, as far as all that stuff, you have an accountant and a bookkeeper, right?
Not a bookkeeper. I do have an accountant. I'm doing books myself, but
Okay.
she's cool.
Okay.
I do have an accountant.
All right. So you keep all those things in order. Do you have any other questions for me before I end the stream?
No, I think I'm okay. I'm gonna use that credit card method that you mentioned, where you're paying business card for personal expenses.
Yeah. I mean, we can sit down and go over that in more details.
Yeah.
And then I can show you how I do it and you can do the same thing. It helps.
Yeah.
You basically keep your personal credit clean and your business credit, bears all the weight. And then your score jumps up a little more.
Yeah, but you say to an accountant not to count personal expenses on a business card towards your business, and she ignores it.
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right, so this is the C4 program, everyone. What we do here is we help individuals, beginners, experienced people get involved in real estate using creative financing methods. Whether you want to buy a house subject to wholesale, retail, short sale, we are here to help you. My name is Linton Gentles. I am one of the coaches here. AJ Santana is on Tuesdays. We will be back on next Tuesday at 6:30. Get in touch with the director of our C4 program. His name is Mike, and hopefully this was informational and experience. Vlad, any final words before we end?
Nah, just go out there and kick butt.
All right. Have a good
night.
Don't
give
sir.
Up. Good night. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.